The last thing she remembered was the cold, not the sting of winter, but the dead, metallic cold of the chains biting into her wrists as they were pulled taut. He was smiling down at her, his face a grotesque mask in the dim, flickering light of the cellar, a monster smile, full of triumphant cruelty. Then the world went black, swallowed by a suffocating wave of pain and the chilling, absolute certainty of her own end. A blinding flash, then another and another, a rapid-fire volley of light that pierced through the darkness in her mind. A cacophony of shouts crashed over her, sharp and predatory like the calls of hyenas circling their prey. Isla, over here, Isla, the smile, give us the $1 million smile. Isla, look at the camera. The sensations were all wrong, a violent assault on her memory, the oppressive heat of the camera lights, the humid, salty air of Key West sticking to her skin, the feel of a custom Dior silk gown against her legs instead of cold, hard chains. Isla Sheridan blinked, her pupils contracting against the glare. Her mind was a maelstrom of fractured realities. One moment, she was dying on a damp concrete floor. The next, she was here, on the red carpet of the Lumina Key Film Festival, at the absolute zenith of her career. Alive, a violent shudder racked her body, a phantom echo of her final agony. She stumbled, her hand flying to her throat, half expecting to feel the crushing pressure that had stolen her last breath. Her fingers met only the delicate chill of her diamond necklace. This had all happened before. This was the night it all began, the night her life was systematically, publicly, and irreversibly destroyed. She forced a smile, a brittle thing that felt like it might shatter on her face. She had won Best Actress tonight. She was supposed to be radiant. She posed, she waved, she moved through the motions like a perfectly programmed automaton, her muscle memory taking over where her conscious mind failed. But inside, behind the hollow eyes and the frozen smile, a chilling realization was crystallizing into a single, terrifying thought. She had been given a second chance. She had been reborn into the first act of her own murder. Backstage, the chaos of the red carpet faded into a dull, muffled roar. The air conditioning was a welcome relief against her feverish skin. Her phone vibrated in her clutch, a venomous, insistent buzz against her palm. A text from Mandy, her agent, a woman who moved through Hollywood like a shark through water. Good job out there, flawless. Cars waiting in the garage. Head straight to the Mariners Rest. The team will meet you there to celebrate. The Mariners Rest Inn. The name hit her like a physical blow, knocking the air from her lungs. That was the hotel, that was the room, the stage for her execution. In her first life, she had obeyed without question. She was exhausted, elated from her win, and trusted her team implicitly. She went to the hotel. She fell into a deep, unnaturally heavy sleep, the kind that feels like drowning. The next morning, the world had changed. A video, expertly crafted but utterly damning, had gone viral. They called it the Seraphim Tapes, a cruel, ironic nickname for something so demonic. It showed her, Isla Sheridan, the newly crowned queen of cinema, engaged in a debauched orgy with several foreign adult film actors. The lie was flawless, and it had killed her, not just her career, but her spirit, her family's reputation, and finally, her body at the hands of a depraved collector who bought her debt. This time there would be no celebration, there would be no obedience. Becca, she said, her voice low and steady, turning to her bright-eyed, ever-eager assistant. Yes, Isla, you were amazing out there. Becca gushed, her smile as wide and brilliant as the flashbulbs. Change of plans, we're not going to the event hotel, Isla stated, her tone leaving no room for argument. Becca's smile faltered, but Mandy said the entire team is waiting. With champagne. I don't care what Mandy said. Isla cut her off, her voice dropping to an icy whisper. We're going back to the production hotel tonight. Now, the 6-hour drive back to the Cypress Key Suites was a silent, tension-filled journey through the Florida night. Becca kept glancing at her in the rearview mirror, a mixture of confusion and concern on her face. Isla ignored her, staring out at the darkness, her reflection a pale, ghostly mask against the window. With every mile that separated her from Key West, from the Mariners Rest, she felt a sliver of control returning. She had changed the variable, she had broken the sequence, but her mind was a whirlwind. It wasn't enough to just escape. She had to understand who benefited from her